Hi, it's Annie from Annie Who English. I'm going to give you an overview of how to teach English pronunciation, particularly teaching general American English pronunciation for your ESL students, also known as ELL and ELA, so your English language learners. Okay. You don't need to be a native speaker to do this, okay? You do need a general idea of the tricky sounds and how to approach them, and that will give your students a leg up in the world on how to be understood by others. And it'll also help them to be understood. Okay. I want to show you now a quick activity that I use at the beginning of class or when I'm first explaining the importance of pronunciation and studying it. So we're going to start with this minimal pair map. And I'm going to explain to you how to use this in your class as a worksheet to begin studying the minimal pair sounds. And I'll explain how it works and what it is and the importance of it in part 4. But for now, let's just have you try with vowels. Later, we will be using it for different consonant sounds and just other tricky sounds of general American English pronunciation. So, a minimal pair is just a word that only has one sound different, like pit or pat. Okay, sit, sat. Okay, it's just the vowel sound, the short I and the short A. For now, we're going to use the short I sound and the long E sound in the following sets of words. Okay, we have the long E, like seat, and the short I, as in sit. Okay, so to do this in order, we're going to start with a short I. Okay, so we have the column on the left, we have sit, fill, itch, and because we're all adults here, let's put some real world problems and have the word shit. Okay, um, you'll understand in a minute why this is important. Then we have the long E sounds. We have seat, feel, each, sheet. Okay, so we're going to be listening for the difference between sit, the column on the left, and seat, the column on the right. Okay, fill, feel, itch, each, shit, sheet. Okay, very, very small difference between those sounds. Now, if you're teaching adults, you can use words like shit and bitch and things like that because it's a problem in the workforce if you are using what we call a swear word or a sassy word or a bad word, just a word with a slang, but in a more foul sense of the word. So if you're at work, or let's say your student is at work and um, they have some paper and they have a question about it, and they say, "What is this shit for?" It's going to come off a lot different than "What is this sheet for?" Okay, that's a real problem. So you want to make sure that they're saying sheet, as in a sheet of paper. This is where pronunciation of vowel sounds comes in very, very handy to know the difference between shit and sheet. Okay. Again, we'll be studying the vowel sounds in section 3, and I'm going to go over all the difference between the short and the long sounds, okay, and how to teach the difference, okay. And then in a further class, I have a whole other course on solely vowel sounds. But right now, just how to teach it. We are going to go with this minimal pairs map. We're going to say a word from each row, okay, just one word, and you have to figure out, depending on the column that's in, where to go on this map. Okay, so for example, the first word, if I say sit, since that's in the column on the left, you would go to 1. Okay, if I say seat, you would go to 2. Okay, up to here. Okay, so if I say sit, you would say here. If I said seat, you would go here. Then for the next word, if I say fill, you would go to A. If I say feel, you would go to B, and then so on and so on down. Okay, so if I would say sit, and then fill, or if I were to say seat and then feel, okay? And then you will end up at one of these places. Okay, got it? The first word, seat, seat, seat. The second word, feel, feel, feel. The third word, itch, itch, itch. And the fourth word, sheet, sheet, sheet. Where are you? You should be at your friend's house. Did you find it? It can be pretty tricky. Let's do it together. So the first word, I said seat. Okay, not sit. I said seat. So you would be at number 2. The second word, I said feel. Feel. So you would be at letter B. The third word, I said itch. Itch. So that would be the column on the left. So that would be under light. And the fourth word, I said sheet. Sheet. So that would be on the right, not the left, it's the right. So you are at your friend's house. Okay. It's pretty difficult. And again, we're going to cover the vowel sounds in section 3, and we're going to cover how to use this sheet in section 4. All right. And that way you will have confidence in teaching the different individual sounds of both vowels and consonants.